Smartphones are creating a generation of miserable children, new research has found. Young people aged 13 to 18 who spend too much time on their phones or playing computer games are unhappier than those who limit their screen time. Researchers suggest teenagers can boost their happiness and self-esteem by spending less than 2 hours a day using so-called digital media. Scroll down for video. This includes cutting time spent playing computer games, on social media, texting or video chatting. The scientists, from San Diego State University in California, say young people would lead happier lives if they spent more time exercising and seeing friends face to face. On average, they found that teens who spent more time in front of screen devices were less happy than those who invested more time in non-screen activities like sports, reading newspapers and magazines, and in the flesh interactions. They say that screen time was driving unhappiness rather than the other way around. Lead author Professor Jean Twenge said, although this study can't show causation, several other studies have shown that more social media use leads to unhappiness, but unhappiness does not lead to more social media use. The key to digital media use and happiness is limited use. Aim to spend no more than 2 hours a day on digital media, and try to increase the amount of time you spend seeing friends face to face and exercising, 2 activities reliably linked to greater happiness. Together with colleagues at the University of Georgia, Professor Twenge looked at data from the Monitoring the Future, MTF, longitudinal study. This was a nationally representative survey of more than 1 million U.S. school children aged 13 to 14, 15 to 16 and 17 to 18. The pupils were asked how often they spent time on their phones, tablets and computers, as well as questions about their in-the-flesh social interactions and their overall happiness. The study found that the happiest teenagers were those who limited their daily digital media time to slightly less than an hour a day. After this daily hour of screen time, unhappiness rose steadily with increasing screen time. Looking at historical trends from the same age group since the 1990s, the researchers found the proliferation of screen devices over time coincided with a general drop-off in reported happiness in American teenagers. Study participants born after 2000 were less satisfied with life, had lower self-esteem and were unhappier than those who grew up in the 1990s. Since 2012, the average teenager's life satisfaction, self-esteem and happiness has plummeted. That year marked the point when the proportion of Americans who owned a smartphone rose above 50% for the first time. Professor Twenge said, by far the largest change in teens' lives between 2012 and 2016 was the increase in the amount of time they spent on digital media, and the subsequent decline in in-person social activities and sleep. The advent of the smartphone is the most plausible explanation for the sudden decrease in teens' psychological well-being.